We live from the Emerald City. It's a Dish with Deeva Show. Here she is, the one and only K-Cee Deeva.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, peeps. What is going on? I've been MIA. I've been busy, but I'm so excited to be back. I've been moving and packing boxes and moving boxes, and now I'm unpacking boxes. As you can see, I have a blank canvas behind me. I usually have a big Hollywood sign, but got to get that up this weekend. And a friend of mine said, you know what, you're moving studios. I kind of like that, moving studios, right? So you're gonna have a new setup, and it's summertime here, and I got a nice deck with a nice view. So I'm thinking the show is just gonna start. We might have to post up outside. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. The lovely lady you see next to me on the screen is my sis, my homegirl, Miss Princess Robin, host of Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars. What's up, sis?
Hey, Deeva! I'm so excited to be here. It's weird to be here, just me and you again. I'm so used to having to lean in and get in the camera and share this. This is good. Sister time. I love it.
Well, we were just talking. If you watch my show, Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva, that comes on once a month, every first Thursday of the month, you notice that her sidekick, her hubby, Mr. K-Cee Kirk Clayton, he's not in the frame. That's because, we're doing girl talk on this show. I've switched up the format a little bit with Dish with Deeva. I usually have artists on. Doesn't mean I won't have artists on from time to time, but I want to talk about things that girls really care about. Things that, just some girl chat. I need to chat with some ladies. I need to hear from you all out there. Get your comments. And for my first show, I wanted to have my homegirl on, Miss Princess Robin. I couldn't do the show without her being the first guest. So glad you could join me.
I love it.
Is my bro still over there? Tell him to peek in the screen and say hi to the people who might recognize him from Nightcap.
I kicked him out. Him out. If he comes back in, I'll have him.
If he comes back, I would say he might have some fans out there that,
Well, he certainly has fans. I'm his biggest fan.
Yay! I love it. All right, so let's dive into the nitty gritty.
Let's do it.
I want to kick off the show. Like I said, I've been trying to kind of change up the show a little bit, do some different things, pondering as to what to do differently. And I have all these chats with like girlfriends outside of the show, just about everything from makeup to relationships to dates, good, bad, ugly, to work, and all the things going on. And so I just thought it would be fun to just kind of take the show in a direction where we're really dishing on some different stuff. Tonight's dish is gonna be all about etiquette, social etiquette. I think social etiquette, okay? Because we're gonna do one topic in particular, but then another topic came up today, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But first and foremost, if you're familiar with Monique, some call her Auntie Monique now. She's a comedian, been in a ton of movies. Does her own stand-up thing. That's a little controversy with Oprah and some others at one point in time. And it's stand-up comedian, but she's also known as the auntie, for folks. On her Instagram page a few days ago, she did a long post where she said she was in the airport, and she couldn't help but notice all the women that had bonnets on it. When we say bonnet, we're talking about the kind you sleep in. So if you sleep in it, Princess, do you wear a bonnet?
I do. I wear. That's how I take care of these luscious locks.
Okay, exactly. The bonnet keeps the hair looking like princesses, long, luscious, healthy. That's what the bonnets are for. Okay. When you go to bed or when you're around the house. Okay. Anyway. So Monique addressed this, and she said, in her words, my babies, she's like, I'm in the airport, I'm seeing bonnets, I'm seeing pajama bottoms, I'm seeing fuzzy slippers, I'm seeing blankets wrapped around you, and so on. Now, everyone knows I like a good nap when I'm on the plane. I don't like to talk on the plane, especially if I'm riding by myself. I don't want to talk to who's next to me, especially now with, COVID and everything. But I get in my little cocoon, I have a blanket, and I have the neck pillow. Okay, not a full-on pillow, just a little neck pillow, a little blanket, But I have clothes on. I don't have pajamas. I'm gonna have some flip flops on, so my feet are comfortable. But you know, they're usually cute, sparkly flip flops. Anyway, Monique went on and on to talk about this, and she said, "I'm not saying you have to be out in full makeup." She said, "You know, I'm not saying you got to be in full makeup and foundation and all that, but have some pride. Don't just go out any kind of way." She said, "Comb your hair at the very least." So, Princess, what were you? I know you watched the video and heard her comments. What was your initial response to that? What were your initial thoughts?
Now, Diva, they don't call me Princess Robin for no reason, okay? So I will preface this by saying I did come up in an era where, you know, there's charm school and, you know, there's a proud Southern Belle family. And so I get that is my bias. So I will acknowledge that first. Let me start with what my bias is. But you have heard me time and time again talk about how shocking it is to the system to see sleeping. Because why it's shocking is because it's sleeping attire out in public, right? So I think there is a certain level of standard that women set, or that people set for themselves about appearance. And true enough, I don't want to be judged by my appearance as the most important thing about me by any means. At the same time, I don't want to lead with, I didn't care enough to get out of my pajamas before I went out of my house. So that is it spoke to me. Her message spoke to me because it's a pet peeve of mine too. I think I told you when I moved to where I am, I was shocked by the amount of like bonnets I would see out in the store, because to me, it's the equivalent of going out with rollers in your hair or, you know, just not getting dressed. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it's common sense. It's not even yes, pride, I think, was a good word to attach to it. But to me, it's also common sense. Before I leave the house, I put on outside shoes. I don't leave on my sneakers. You know what I mean? I look real cute in pajamas, but I don't wear them out the house.
Outside.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's just it, you know, and I have to agree. You know, I do agree. I think bonnet is I mean, I've even seen it on Instagram reels and, you know, Facebook posts. And I even saw, it was probably about 3 or 4 months ago, a woman put out a blog and she talked about how she felt that it should be okay to wear a bonnet on a Zoom call for work. And I thought to myself, are you joking right now? Like, there's no way I would let any of my coworkers see me in a bonnet. You know, and my bonnet's cute. It's satin, it's purple, it's all, you know, it's a cute little, for a bonnet, it's a cute bonnet. But I feel like that's reserved for the bedroom. Just like you said, it's like wearing rollers outside, you know. And the pajama bottoms, I never understood that whole thing. Now, I love me some pajama bottoms too. I wear them around the house, they're comfy. You know, now if I'm on a Zoom call, you know, like now, right? I'm waist up. They can't see what I have, but I might be in some pajama bottoms. Don't tell anybody. But but from here up, you're not gonna see any bonnets and rollers and all this kind of stuff. And that's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking back on Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars with Princess Robin, our relationship show. And I recall a specific conversation that I had with the fellas. It was what men want women to know, right? And it just hit me just now since we've been talking. There was specifically a comment that one of the men made about how, you know, when the appearance you have to get your man, you know, keep your appearance up once you get your man, because it's a turnoff. And he went so far as to say, which I didn't agree with because it was referring to the bedroom, but he was like, you know, I'm used to seeing your hair down. I'm used to seeing yada, yada, yada. And you got this bonnet on. So now if it was a turnoff and, you know, something that said to him, or, you know, that says to some men, I don't know that all men share his point of view, but like that is not attractive, or that shows that you're not taking care, you're not keeping yourself up the way you usually do. And that's for the bedroom. Why would I then take that out into the public setting and be like, yo, I'm out here, I'm mobbing out? Now, I'm not saying you gotta, I agree, you don't have to fix up. You don't have to fix up to go outside your house. I agree. Women are beautiful in their natural state. Yes. There's nothing natural about a bonnet. No. And I also think there is head covering that's appropriate and beautiful. Like I remember watching how-to videos about like how to do different head wraps and stuff. I wish I could do that. I think that's gorgeous. Now that is for out.
That's not a Molly Moppet bonnet that you have on your head, though. The head wraps are beautiful, typically African descent. Love it. Wish I could learn how to do it. I don't have I can never do it. I tried to do those how-to videos. Okay. Speaking of what guys think, here's a few comments from some guys. Let's see here. Anthony Adams. Shout out Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
Co-host of one of our co-hosts on Nightcap. And also my co-host on 90 Day Fiance Afterthoughts. All right. He says, I understand wanting to be comfortable on an airplane, but going in your pajama pants, that's a big no-no. The only people that should travel in pajamas on a plane are small children when it's an overnight flight. Agreed. Hello, my friends and co-hosts. Charm School. I remember that show Monique had. I forgot about that. Do you remember that show?
I didn't know there was a charm school. But my mom actually ran a charm school, so that tells you where I come from.
Right. Exactly. Well, I went to an all-girl private school for high school.
Yes,
we had to take etiquette class. Like there was a class we had to learn like which fork was the salad fork and how you present yourself when you go to a fancy dinner and you do all these things. So yeah, there was no training on bonnets. AC, so hey, baby bro, what's up?
With the bomb theme music.
Leave the struggle bonnet in the bedroom, he says. Anthony, I'll wear a do-rag with a hat over it if I'm flying overnight. Now, okay, so let's talk about that. So the guy version, in my opinion, of if there was a guy version of a bonnet, could be the do-rag, right? Because they typically would wear that at night to get the waves, get the perfect waves and whatever. But like Anthony said, throwing a hat on it. I mean, is that acceptable? Does it seem like the same kind of thing? I mean, do you have any issue if you see a guy in a do-rag?
I'm an equal opportunity judger. No, I mean, I guess the point there, which I think helps me articulate it a little better, is there's a function to this headgear, right? There's a function to it. You're wearing the do-rag to get the waves. You're wearing the bonnet to protect the moisture, the style, and all of that stuff. So there's a function to it. It's not intended to be, although there is a hip hop style with the do-rag. So I guess, there's that, if that's the style you're going for. Yeah. But at the same time, what he said in his comment was overnight flight. It's like there are conditions under which no big deal. But as Monique pointed out in her video, Deeva, it was like, I'm not just talking about the airport. I'm talking about the grocery store. Right. I'm talking about Deeva. Remember that story I told you about my girl who I saw in the beauty supply store who rolled up in there with shampoo in her hair and a towel around her? It's like, aren't there limits to what we just feel like? Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
No, I remember you telling that story. And my first thought was, this poor woman probably got halfway through whatever process she was doing and be like, oh crap, I don't have conditioner or whatever. But I see your point. I mean, rinse it out. It's just shampoo. Rinse it out. At least you can even go wet hair. Some people wear the hair crinkly, curly, wet, whatever. Get what you need, whatever. But you're going out with the shampoo and
I was thrown off by the drape around her neck. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now that is some serious emergency. In which case, I need to see a bit more pep in your step because you was just strolling leisurely. Urgency to get back to that bowl. And
stopping
rinse
off
their head.
a burger and some lunch, then strolling back to the shampoo bar.
True story, y'all. It happened.
You know what's funny though is I have to admit I've been caught out. Like I went to the salon. I've gone to the salon before. I've been caught where like I'm like, oh, my meter's about to run out because it's taking longer than I thought. And my hairstylist is like, oh, okay, well, let me pull your hair back or something so you can run out and I remember the first time this happened, I sat there for a minute and I was like, okay, can you take the cape off? I'm not running out in the cape and then put the look.
Diva, that's not the same thing though.
Sometimes where the hair is not appropriate, it's not ready to be seen yet, and I'm like, yo, can you run out and here's my card? You go plug my meter because I'm not going outside with half conditioner.
That's not the same. That's not the same. You were like, oh, let me get back in there. No, it would be the same if you were like, I'm flying across country like this.
Right.
I'm gonna go up to the grocery store. You know what? I need to get something for dinner. Let me roll up to Walmart. Let me roll up to Fred Meyer. Do my shopping.
Because that's just too many questions. Because if I see you in some damn pajamas and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, have you showered today? Have you just rolling out funky? Like, it's just, are you, really? Like, Yeah.
I just think, I think there's a point at which, and I get that as a culture, we want to reclaim a lot of things and we don't want to shame,
Yeah.
So I feel, I do apologize for whatever shaming there is. At the same time, I come from a time where there are standards and there is there's a way you want to represent yourself in the public. And it doesn't have to be white standard. There's nothing white about taking off your head wrap, your nighttime rollers, or your shower cap. Like when we were talking earlier and you were like, that's my shower cap. It's the same difference, really. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That doesn't make you, I don't think that says we're ashamed.
No, but you know what? I'm sorry. I'm being very judgy. I don't think bonnets, shower caps, anything that you sleep in at night should not be worn outside the house. I don't care unless it's you running from a fire. Let's put it that way. And you like, oh damn, I got to run out the house, and you left the bonnet on because obviously you're just trying to save your life, right? That's the only time I'm gonna excuse a bonnet or any of that. So if it's shaming, it's shaming. But I too come from the same era, Princess, where I remember my mom when I was a teenager. I remember my mom saying to me, now, when you go to the store, like you don't have to put on full makeup, but throw in a little gloss. Maybe just a little mascara and eyelashes. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm just running to the gas station. I'm just going to the store. Like, and I'm like, okay, fine. I throw a little glass, like, and I kid you not, more times than not, I would run into somebody I knew and be glad I at least looked a little presentable, like may not have full makeup on, but
Diva, for me, it's eyebrows. I don't leave the house without my eyebrows, I will leave without a lot of things, but not my eyebrows.
All right, like this. Anthony has one more comment. I heard a story about a church organ player who came to Sunday service with rollers in his hair. You lying, Anthony. Dad, are you serious right now? Because that's crazy. That's just crazy.
Where does it end? Where does it end?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. Again, I don't care how cute the bonnet is, because that's gonna be the excuse. I have a couple of cute bonnets. You will not see me outside the house in a bonnet. If I'm running from a fire, there's a good chance, but that's gonna be it.
But I might throw it off as I run out the house.
You know what?
Throw it in my pocket.
I'm telling you, I'm that person. I would be conscious enough to still be like, oh shoot.
Thinking back to old school advice from my grandmother, like, don't wear underwear that has holes in it, because you never know. What if you had to go to the hospital in the middle of the night? That's something that's covered. It's like, have some pride.
Yeah. Have a little pride. Have a little pride. Okay, I want to jump topics right quick. So, as we talk about social etiquette, now we're in this whole pandemic thing. People, I get it. We're all tired of the mask. We're tired of the mask. We've been wearing them for a year and a half now, like around 18 months, I think, counting. Okay, so here in Washington, our governor has basically said that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask in indoors or in public places. Now, this is confusing, right? Because there's still some stores up here who have signs up that say mask required. And so, the other day, my homegirl Princess, she messages me and she's like, I'm feeling anxiety. I'm out here. There's people with masks, but there's more without masks. And even the sign says wear a mask. People aren't with masks. And then, Princess, I experienced exactly what you experienced today when I was shopping, and I had the same anxiety. Like, and where I was, some of the grocery store folks didn't have masks on. So I'm like, Kim, I need to ask a question, but I really don't want to talk to you because you don't have a mask on. I was wearing my mask. I'm gonna continue to wear it like for a very long time. So you run out to me in public, people have a mask on. But Princess, what is it? Like, is it just people just wanting to be defiant? I mean, there's a sign that says wear a mask and you just boldly walk in like no mask, like you don't care?
And this is a struggle one for me too, because for where I draw the hard line is if the establishment says, please wear a mask, I don't need to be a butthole and not wear a mask. Right. I am fully vaccinated. I am enjoying the fruits of being fully vaccinated. We are definitely in a transition time where it feels very unusual to not have a mask on in a public setting. Right. And I also, unlike you, I live in a place where a very small percentage of people are vaccinated. I'm not in a real pro-vax spot. At least in Seattle, 70% or more of y'all are vaccinated. Right. What we know from science is that they tell us if you are not vaccinated, you need to continue to wear this mask. So in part, and we also know that not every human is even eligible still for a vaccination. There are still small children who couldn't get a vaccination if they wanted to. Yeah. Right. So for many reasons, I still want to err on the side of caution. And yes, it is good that, there's protections from the vaccine. Yeah. And I am starting to feel a bit more comfortable relaxing, but hard line if the establishment says wear your mask, who am I to not wear my mask? Right. I think there's a certain amount of privilege that says, well, I don't have to do what you tell me.
Exactly. I'm giggling, Princess, because when you said the kids you can't get vaccinated, I was like, keep your cute little babies away from me.
I know, right?
I know. If they ain't vaccinated, keep them away from me.
It's still very much a public health issue. It really is. And I feel like God bless, the people who I feel very happy that I get to enjoy the fruits of being vaccinated. I feel protected, I'm not going to get as sick as you if you're not vaccinated. I'm not going to likely go to the hospital. Right. I probably won't die, but I can't say that for others. And so for the protection of others, I still choose to mask. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. It's true. I moved recently and I have really nice neighbors. And one of my neighbors, we were chit-chatting and she said, me and my husband we're fully vaccinated, she's like, you should come over, have a glass of wine, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. I did the plan. Okay, yeah, I'd love to do that. But in my mind, I'm thinking, it won't happen. Because I'm not ready to be up in somebody's like personal space, like their house or unless I know you know what I mean? I know you've been quarantining like all the time, and whatever, and all of that. I'm like, hey, we can go out. We got a rooftop, cabana thing. Sure, we can do that because outside, outdoors. But I'm not. I'm not ready to be in a small space with people that I don't know that well because I don't know your habits.
Corona is that virus that makes you have to trust others.
Yeah.
And right now I feel like, the ones who need protecting are the ones who don't have their vaccination. Because, truth be told, we're vaccinated. We can still catch Corona. We can still test positive. Absolutely. What if I get the virus and then I bring it into a setting where there are people who have not been vaccinated, and now I pass it on, and now y'all are sick?
Or what if you're around someone that's not vaccinated, and for some reason,
there's just still so many questions.
There's so many questions. It really is. Anthony says everyone wants to be a rebel so bad. I respect business rules, and even in the winter, I'll wear my mask. I pretty much have a stocking mask. Yeah, Anthony and I talked about this because we both we got masks galore. Like I told him about the mask I was telling you about, Princess and stuff, and it's just like, I will keep them on hand, and I will buy them. And I even feel like I got a couple dirty looks from people that didn't have masks on in the store that were kind of giving me side eye, and I'm like, you can side eye all you want to. This mask ain't going nowhere.
Right. I'm telling you, that's an easy one to answer. If it says, because a lot of times, you're right, they do say now, like, those who are not vaccinated, please wear your mask. You don't know who's vaccinated and who's not.
That's the big question.
I will admit, full transparency, sometimes I'm in settings and I see people who are wearing masks where I feel like, okay, like we're outdoors or we're at this setting or whatever, and I'm like, you didn't get your shot.
Right. You might want to go take care of that.
But here again, it's like, if the establishment says please wear your mask, why would you not?
I think Anthony's right. I think people just like, and we saw, right, even last year, like there's this whole segment of the population who want to prove that the government, it became this political thing. It people lost the fact that this is a public health crisis. Yeah. This should have nothing to do with government or who you wanted in office and all this craziness that it became. This
Straight is biology.
Cross. Yeah, exactly. So hey, Karen Zam, K-Cee.
K-Cee, what's up?
Radio peeps in the house. Karen says, in Minnesota/Wisconsin, they do not care about masks. I was the alien, either wearing one or holding my breath through crowds. Wow, interesting. Yeah, see, this is what
pretty true here also.
Yeah, see, and that's interesting. That's interesting. As I talk to people in different cities and states, because Washington, I got to give credit. We've been really diligent, and when it first happened and all that, we were really diligent about wearing masks and such, and that's why our numbers managed to stay as low as they did.
Right.
So I got to give it to the Seattle folks and the, even outlining areas. We did what we're supposed to do. But it's interesting to talk to people like you, Princess, and hear from Karen and folks in different parts of the world where it's just not a thing. People are just kind of nonchalant about it.
I was watching the news yesterday, and so Mississippi was one of the, and that's literally next door to me. I mean, it's as easy to get to Mississippi as it is to go down the street. And they have been the most open and the least vaccinated. It was something like it was less than 40% of their population has been vaccinated, and no mask. They lifted their mask mandate long before most states did.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's like it doesn't compute to me.
Yeah, Princess, you're sounding you're getting that kind of feedback again. We're almost out of time, but Let's see. Karen says King County, Seattle's at 70% vac rate. Yeah, I know we're at 70% vaccination rate. I get that. I get that, but like I said, I'm still gonna be wearing my mask. People will probably be looking at me crazy, and I don't care because I was still wearing the mask. Anthony says Mississippi is also redneck country, so no surprise really. Well, yeah, what can I say? All right, we're just about out of time. Thank you, all the peeps that said hi and your comments. Good to see you. Thank you, Princess Robin, for joining me tonight. It's been fun. Had fun talking about bonnets and pajamas. And I'm gonna say what Monique said. Monique said, listen, if I see y'all out in a bonnet or some pajamas or in fuzzy slippers and whatnot, SpongeBob slippers, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to tap you on the shoulder. Yes, Anthony, got the fan. All right. Love you, Princess. And Princess, tell the peeps where they can catch your show.
Okay, 8 podcast platforms. Anchor.fm/princess-robin-presents, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it. 8 podcast platforms. Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars with Princess Robin.
All about relationships, y'all. I've been on a few shows. We always have a good time. She always has really fun people on the show talking all about relationships and diving into the topics that the ongoing questions we never really know the answers to, but they're fun to talk about, right?
Exactly.
All right. Love you, Princess. I'm going to leave you all with this.